We fucking barely talk about medicine.
I know. I'm glad.
It's just like, oh, this crazy shit happened near a hospital.
yeah. It happened like a block away from the hospital.
I saw an ambulance roll over.
Okay, the geniuses will see us now.
I'm a pro.
He's very unprofessional.
Very unprofessional.
These are our newly arrived surgeons, Doctors Trowbridge and Greenbaum.
Doctor?
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 We're not doctors.
Are you sure they can handle this?
Oh, we can handle it. We're professionals.
You'll forgive us if we're not instilled with confidence.
Potentially unprofessional pieces of content.
Right here. All right. I just want to jump into it, man. This topic is so interesting. I read it like a week ago. And
okay. Before we gotta introduce ourselves, we're not that bad.
We'll do it at the
end. Welcome to Unprofessional. Yeah. I am Trevor.
And
this
Ken.
is Ken. And
Ken
best hour of
Cakes.
your week, bitch. It's the best hour of your week. I'm telling you, it's not an option. All right, go ahead.
All right, now I can jump in. I was on Reddit as per usual, and in between the Gone Wild links, there was one link that caught my eye. And do you know what boob envy is?
Girls like envying other girls' boobs.
Yeah, but so it was something about that. But I clicked the link, and my mind was blown.
Okay.
And it was that girls.
This is a medical fact, so
yeah.
Continue to listen.
This is the one medical part of this
yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
Girls don't like to introduce their boyfriends to girls who have bigger boobs than them.
Oh, because they're afraid.
Isn't your mind blown?
I mean, it makes sense.
It doesn't, honestly, to me, but it's just funny that they do that because...
It's like an unconscious thing, you think?
Yeah, so they study... Even if a girl has big boobs, she's like... She doesn't want to introduce like her boyfriend to someone who has bigger boobs. Yeah. The effect is biggest if they have small boobs.
Yeah,
and
of course.
It decreases, but even then, it's like present.
Wow. I believe it.
What they found was that even if you already have big boobs and another girl is like the similar size, they still don't want to introduce you.
Wow.
Crazy.
That's wild.
Yeah. I read that and my mind was
They're
blown.
afraid.
I was like, wow, this is so interesting. Like, this is amazing.
More things to be insecure about. That's wild.
And I was thinking
I feel like we don't do that.
Huh?
We don't do that.
Yeah.
Like I'm not like, oh man, I know Aspa's got a huge cock. I don't want to introduce.
But do guys do that in terms of like, attractiveness? So you're like, oh, this guy's, better looking than I am. Do I introduce my girl?
Maybe. I don't think I do.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe though.
But
although I'm pretty fucking good looking, so it's hard to top.
You don't really have the opportunity to introduce anyone to any other guy though, right?
Well, yeah, not my case, but I'm thinking about in the past.
Oh,
I definitely didn't give a fuck back then.
Yeah, things might change now, but I think if you're like more secure, then it's different. But
yeah, that's probably true.
Still, like when I read it, I was mind blown. It was very interesting. I was just picturing in my head a girl with big boobs, and so I was like happy.
How big are Anastasia's boobs? I genuinely don't know. She like, it's like they like metamorphosize. They like fucking.
I'm not gonna answer that question.
Okay, that's probably fair. It's probably good.
It is a very interesting topic. All right, now we can go on to something medical.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna go with a fact. We're trying to get real medical in this podcast. Did you know that smoking protects against what?
I know this. It's some fucking stupid thing like sarcoidosis or something like that.
No, but
what is it?
It's ulcerative colitis.
Oh yeah.
If you smoke, you protect against inflammatory bowel disease, specifically ulcerative colitis. So
yeah,
bring out your tobacco.
Any young white Jewish men out there?
Yeah, especially if you're young and white, you have more likelihood of getting ulcerative colitis. If you're in your
20s and you're Jewish?
If you're in your 20s and you're Jewish,
smoking.
Absolutely start ripping cigarettes.
What? Not ripping. Let's go like one or two a day.
Oh, sorry.
And then they can work their way up.
Oh, okay.
Don't make them smoke a whole pack a day.
Smoke until you pass out. I want you to vomit.
So, that's enough medical. Now let's get back to what I want. I have a crazy thing that like didn't happen to me, happened to one of my friends.
Okay.
You know my old roommate back in SU, the Asian one?
Oh, yeah. Oh, fuck.
Well,
okay. Well, all right, go.
So I was talking to him the other day, and he told me, we were like just catching up. He's like, tell me how like, step went. How's your applications coming? What are you applying to? And so he's applying to family medicine. And he said he had 3 letters of recommendation, but he said he's worried. And I was like, why are you worried? And he's like, I'm worried because I had 3 letters of recommendation, but I lost them. And I'm like, how the fuck do you lose, 3 letters of rec? Like, they're uploaded online.
Yeah, what?
And I was like, you lost all of them? He's like, yeah. I was like, what happened? He's like, well,
he slapped every physician that wrote him one.
Worse, dude. At least then he could like get him back, but this way he can't even get him back. He said one of his physicians was too overwhelmed, and so he like said he's not writing any letters for anyone this cycle.
Okay.
So he previously agreed to do it, but then he like backed out.
All right.
His attending's dad died.
Oh my
and so
God.
he's like, taking a leave or whatever to like go be with his family. And the third one's the worst. He's like, the third one, his attending just died.
What?
So
What the fuck?
Like, so like now he's kind of stuck in a
He
bind.
has no
and that,
letters.
Like, there's no one really left to ask.
Damn. That's why Gabriel got like 15 letters of recommendation in case they all died.
I'm so glad. I asked for 4 letters and 3 of them like came through.
Mm-hmm.
One of them, which I'll mention a little bit later, fucking bitch ass attending. I emailed him so many times. Anyway, so I was talking to my roommate and he was like, yeah, man, I'm just asking anyone I can now because it's so close. And this was like maybe a week and a half ago that I have to get him up right away. And then I need to, I need ECFMG or ERAS to process them, which takes like 5 days. So he didn't have any time left. And he's like, I hope I can get him up. And then he's going to send his like application probably not even like completed. So it's super difficult.
Yeah, that fucking sucks, man.
Yeah. And like you don't have any time because like the cycle this year is like so compressed because we started late.
Bro, I think at that point though, you just have to accept that God is like sending you signs. Like, yo, I literally killed one of the people. I killed the father of another one. And I made the other
What
one
more
just
do you need?
like an asshole.
What's the sign in this case?
That's the sign. It's, hey,
He's saying,
wait. It's either, hey, wait, or it's, I'm never letting you get into becoming a physician ever.
that's so mean.
Hey,
why
man.
is God doing this to
I don't know
me?
why God does any of this shit. God.
So I don't know what he's going to do. I think he's still trying to go through because no one wants to take a year off for no reason. And plus he's already paid like all his fees for like the $900 or whatever and then done all this shit. So it's going to be a big waste of time. And
Damn, just because he doesn't have letters. What a lame way to not get in and go in right away.
I know. And
Rough,
then
dude.
now my attending, so this guy, man, so I didn't need his letter, because he's like the infectious disease guy. And it would have looked good because he was like higher up, but I didn't need it. So I like didn't pursue him. I emailed him like 4 or 5 times, but he like never responded to me. I even went and talked to him in person and he's like, yeah, it's fine.
He's like, yes, excellent.
Yeah.
Yes, excellent. Well done.
And I'm like, what more can I do to like get you to upload this letter? So 2 other people got it, the guy that we hate with the big face.
Oh, he got one.
And this other girl, but they had to like
The
be
guy we hate with the big face.
they had to be on his ass to get it. And I'm like, what can I do more? So I messaged him like last night because I thought I needed it. And I was like, hey, I asked you for a letter like 3 months ago or something, and I've been like emailing you. I don't know if you got a chance to do it, but like.
So you're gonna start blackmailing him?
Bro, fuck him. I thought I needed it, but I don't. So I'm like, whatever, I'll just move on without it. But it's super annoying because like these attendings, they say yes, and then like, why is it this difficult? Like, there's 10,000 forms of communication. Like I sent you enough.
He's just
emails,
being a little fuck, because I mean, if he's already done other ones, like. It's already in the book. Like, he's got it. Like, he could just do it. You just add your name.
I would have just preferred him to say no.
Yeah.
So I know that I can't.
I know,
count on
that's
him.
so annoying.
It's just.
I'm fine if someone says no.
Just let me write it. If
Right.
you're
Just
agreeing to
reject
it.
me now, so I don't have to deal with it.
Yeah. Isaiah was saying.
It's like every girl in my life.
Dude, Isaiah was saying that he has 3 templates that he uses. I'm like, what's so hard about that? Just take the name out and put my name in.
Yeah.
What else do you need?
That's fucked up.
So, and then, of course, the stuff I went through today with like the needing a different type of letter from SGU that no one's ever told us about.
Bro, the thing about medicine is there's so many little fucking things for applications. It's like, it's every time you've done a job application on complete steroids, like with all these extra little fucking curveballs and sinkers and gyro balls and fucking fastballs, 2-seamers, 4-seamers.
I don't know what half these things
8-seamers. Bro, I don't even know how.
Are these baseball
crazy.
terms?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't get them.
Fucking Canadian.
But it's
fucking loon.
The last like 5 hours for me have been like super stressful. I've just been like sitting in the chair, looking at my laptop, and like my eyes have been scanning.
I picture you just sweating.
I was sweating really bad.
Full airplane, just sweat dripping down your face, just like.
It was terrible, and like I feel a little bit better now because like I got some reassurance from the school, but I'm still like kind of fucked because it's gonna be late no matter what. But that was my experience.
Exciting.
If there's any like potential, med school grads, just remember you might need a chair letter, so keep an eye out for that.
I wonder how many people who are actually in medicine are actually listening to this.
Probably.
This is for posterity. This is for people who listen to it in the future.
We fucking barely talk about medicine.
I know. I'm glad.
It's just like, oh, this crazy shit happened near a hospital.
yeah. It happened like a block away from the hospital.
I saw an ambulance roll over. And
I saw this guy do coke, have a heart attack, and I walked by him. It was crazy, bro.
He went into cardiac arrest. That's all I know.
And I did nothing. It was fucking nuts, dude.
We gotta change like the topic. 2 med students talk about things that are like tangentially related, loosely associated to medicine.
Loosely associated to medicine.
We don't do shit.
I love it. All right, I guess I'm medical. This was like almost like some good random like Yoda advice that one of the ED docs gave. We were like chilling, and there was like all these fucking alarms going off, all this shit in the ED. I mean, it's happening all the time, but he was like, and everyone's like kind of stressed out around him, and the resident doesn't have. He's got like shit all over his desk, and like is like trying to work around it and stuff. And he's like, look, here's some advice. You're like a year 1. You gotta clean up your desk. Like, you gotta take a deep breath. Like, there will always be alarms going off. There's always gonna be. We also had a patient like yelling at us right there, and like someone screaming in the back. I mean, that's, again, these are all like pretty regular things, but it's all happening at once. And it's like there will always be an alarm going off here. Like, it is a long career. Like, take your time. Just do your shit methodically. See 2 patients, do 2 notes. See 2 patients, do 2 notes. And you don't deviate unless a fucking like, a resuscitation comes in or something. And that's it. Like, just take it easy. Like, it's a long career. You're in this bitch for like 40, 50 years.
Yeah, that's good advice. Because when I was in the ER, I felt like there was always like a sense of urgency. You have to like.
And there should be, but there's a difference between a sense of urgency and being like wound up in your body all the time.
That's how I felt. I feel like I was always wound up in the ER. But I think like because I didn't know
we were new though. I mean, you should be wound up. You're in a emergent environment and you're new to it. Like you should be worked up. You should be fucking sweating bullets for sure.
I was. It was nerve wracking. Did you get to save any more lives?
Not like cool ways. Just like in like like recording things down type ways, like writing down information. We had patients come in needing resuscitation, but it's like, they didn't need compressions or anything. Like ROSC was achieved like on the way here, stuff like that. So it, you just give them fluids, you do the A, B, C, D, E, for if they have trauma, make sure everything's clear, like they're breathing, vitals are stable. And then, if they're not, they're altered or something, you send them to CT, get a CT of their brain and or whatever you think's wrong, make sure it's not septic, all that shit.
Do you guys ever like get those patients where you have to open their chests, like crack
so
their
apparently
chest
I haven't seen it yet, like where you do an actual thoracotomy, that's what it's called, right?
I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, they had to do one I think a couple weeks ago or something.
Oh, so you guys do
it does happen, yeah. Like apparently if you're a resident, that's what, like 4 years, let's say. Apparently have, I mean, depends on the ED, but in this one you'll probably see it like twice. You have to do it like twice.
Yeah.
But yeah, that means they have to literally crack down your sternum, like cut it open that bitch up, and then I don't know what they do.
I think
like
they do
what's indicated for a
because,
thoracotomy.
yeah,
but.
I don't fucking know, but I think they do it so that they can like literally.
So they could
squeeze your
literally
heart
squeeze the heart,
make
to keep it
pump.
pumping. Because I think it's like you have like 30% effectiveness with compressions or something like that, or
Yeah.
it pumps like a third as well as a normal heart.
Yeah.
But if you open that shit up and just squeeze it, like you're
Imagine it
fucking
goes up.
juicing an orange or something, then it's it's very effective.
Goes
You
up
can
very
you can get like
drastically.
100%.
Yeah, that's what I want you to see. I don't want to see it, but I want you to see
If
it.
you need compressions, you want me to just open you up and squeeze your heart instead?
No. I don't want you anywhere near me.
Oh shit. Okay.
Take me to the nearest hospital. That's not the hospital where we like rotate it.
Yeah,
at.
100%.
I'll use my-
Every resident and student feels that way.
I'll use my emergency travel
Bring me
insurance.
somewhere else. I don't care if I'm bleeding out. Fucking bring me
I
somewhere
don't think
else.
even the residents at that hospital would want to go there.
No, 100%.
One of the
not.
OB residents delivered her baby there, and I was very surprised by it.
Really?
She was the only one though. There was a few other ones that were pregnant. They didn't go to the same hospital. But I think that's probably because she gets health care there.
I mean, I know it's partially because like, oh, you don't want people to know your like medical shit, but
Yeah, I guess
it's also, I mean, oh fuck, the hospital we were at before,
Wapiti Hospital.
yeah, Wapiti Hall. It's also just really shitty. Like
Yeah.
you don't want to be treated there. It's just the chances of something going wrong are just higher. So if it's serious, like I would not take my fucking mom there.
You know, one of our friends were saying
Or my normal mom.
The hospital you're at now, the
Yeah.
internal medicine residents are worse than the ones.
Oh
where we were
really?
at. Yeah.
Damn. I don't doubt it.
It's hard, to be worse, but they're
Yeah.
like, they're less
They
competent.
did it. That's impressive, man.
My cousin was telling me last night when we had dinner that you're gonna like right now, sure it's stressful. Like you're gonna be like, oh, will I match? But once you match, you're gonna be like, and how the fuck did this guy match? I was like, way better than.
I'm sure that's gonna happen. Oh, I'm 100%
He's
sure.
like, you guys are worried now, but if you're a good candidate and you're normal, then you'll do fine.
If you're a good candidate and you're normal,
Yeah.
there's definitely some abnormal people in medicine.
There was a guy
100%.
last year who had 17 interviews. So
Damn, that's a lot.
if you have 10 interviews, you have a 95% chance.
Yeah,
of
you're
matching.
fucking set. You're golden.
So 17, you're like
You have to be a fucking alien to not get in.
basically 100%, and he still somehow didn't match.
That's crazy. Oh man, that's an embarrassing.
I don't know
stat.
what he did. He probably had like fucking had his
How do you
dick
fuck
out
up
the entire
17
time.
interviews?
He was jacking off to the other candidates, to the program director.
in the room with them.
Yeah. I don't know how he did it, but I think he was from SGU too. So
Oh, I don't.
I'm not
doubt
surprised,
that.
though.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
yeah, if they're from SGU, anything can happen.
Anything.
We talk so much shit about SGU.
Bro, I know, but I mean, and there's some smart ass people there too.
Yeah.
Including myself.
Mostly a bunch of dickheads though.
But I mean, it's the full spectrum, bro. Autism and just of people in general. Like it hits everything, man. It's
Yeah.
like the shyest people in the world, the angriest people in the world, the coolest people, the fucking smartest people, and it's also got people with assaults on the record. It's got people with
God
rape
damn.
charges. It's got people who cannot speak to anyone to save their life. It's guys who fuck up 17 interviews. Like,
Yeah.
it's got everybody, man.
The rape
so.
charges and the assault charges, man.
They're real, bro.
I know they're real.
I wonder how many there actually are, because I only know of the ones that I hear from. I'm sure I don't hear about all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I only hear about the weird kids who have assault and rape charges, like,
We all
because
know-
that's interesting.
We all know Kyle 195.
But it might be that, like, unsuspecting kid, like,
Oh yeah.
I'm just gonna say it because it's funny. It could be like or something. You don't know.
Do we have to do that? I guess his name's like.
Yeah,
not that common.
I'll save him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say anything bad about.
Oh, you just said it again.
Fuck.
God.
This is like the 4th time we fucked up
I know,
already.
we're fucking up, man.
What's going on today?
Oh, and another thing in the ED though, this is just more interesting, but we saw this patient with sickle cell. We have a lot of sickle cell patients in this area compared to the rest of the United States, and he, the resident had me go see the person. The resident's dope as hell, and I'm checking her out, doing all this stuff, and then he's like, we go through the physical exam. I'm like, yeah, no jaundice, no this, no that, and he's like, okay, did you look anywhere else, in her mouth or anything? I'm like, I looked in, moist mucous membranes, whatever. He's like, did you look under the tongue? I'm like, What? I'm like, what is this? The pickle guy from SpongeBob? Like, what the fuck is happening? No pickles. And he's like, yeah, the first place that you see jaundice, it's the most sensitive spot to see yellowing first is under the tongue. I'm like,
yeah,
God
someone
damn.
told me that
all
too.
right. I'm like, all right, I see you.
Damn, it's very interesting.
So yeah, that was pretty dope.
Did he have like the priapism?
No, it's a girl.
Crisis? Oh, okay.
No, it was a
Does she
transgender
have-
girl with priapism.
All right, so transgender girl. So it was a male to female transgender.
It was a female to male transgender, but did not have a peen. Well, I guess I don't know because I didn't look.
Okay, that's the thing, man. You
Yeah,
gotta look.
my bad. I'm
They
assuming.
could have
shit.
had like a freaking huge erection and like causing them pain, but you'd never know.
See, we're like saying jokes right now, and I don't think my sister listens to this podcast who's transgender, but
Yeah.
I don't know if she would be mad or not at this. Like, I'm trying to figure it out because I genuinely don't want to offend people, but I also want to make jokes about it because it's
Yeah.
funny as fuck. So I don't know where like the line ends and begins.
I was
but
making a joke, just saying.
Yeah,
but I brought that up because we had a guy in the ED, and he had sickle cell crisis, and he had like blood clots in his dick, so blood was getting in, but like it couldn't get out because his like veins were all clogged. Have you seen that before?
I haven't. Yeah, I've seen it once. Yeah.
And it was crazy.
I didn't see it get treated though.
Okay, because you know. What
Oh,
the
we
treatment
We
is?
talked about this. This was the second podcast we
Was
talked
it?
about. Yeah,
Oh shit.
penis blood. That's the
Yeah,
title of the
yeah,
episode.
Anyway, he got needles in his dick and he got
He
it
put a
flushed.
needle in it. We had to put a needle in his
Yeah.
cock.
Man, the worst pain imaginable. Besides the other guy with
Besides
like the
the
urethra
kidney
stricture.
stone guy or whatever. Oh yeah, the urethra stricture.
Yeah.
Holy fuck! Just saying that sounds painful, dude.
Man, I don't miss anything about the ED. I feel like I just hate it more and more.
Oh my god! And there's such bureaucratic bullshit that happens. I'm sure it's everywhere, but the ED definitely like this one time. We're waiting for like. So what happens is we see the patient, we treat them with whatever we can to make them like stable or whatever. Then we send them upstairs to the internal medicine people so that they can continue to treat them if it's necessary, right? Otherwise, we send
Yeah.
you home. Like, look, we sutured up your cut. Go home. You're fine. But so we're waiting to send people up a lot of the time though, because the internal medicine floor is full a lot of the time. So then we have like fucking like 15 patients waiting around,
So
taking
annoying.
up beds in the ED, just sitting there. We're waiting to get them upstairs. So sometimes we might have like 3 people actually we're doing stuff for in the ED, but every single bed is full, and then the hallway is full of people too. So it's kind of
Yeah.
wild. Anyway, I'll bring it up because there's people waiting there for like sometimes like 3 days, 4 days,
What?
like crazy shit.
You're
well,
kidding.
not that often, but in this case there was.
Yeah.
We were waiting on this one guy, congestive heart failure, exacerbation, other stuff. We were waiting to get him upstairs. He'd been waiting 3 days, bro, in
Why
the
don't they
ED.
transfer him somewhere?
I don't know. But guess what happened? There was this like VIP patient that came in. It like
joking, man.
it was like the daughter of the niece of like the medical director of this place or something. Got upstairs instantly,
What
bro.
the
They
fuck?
literally called the doctors who were treating it, and they were like, "All right, make sure you get this person up there right away." Like management from like the hospital called, and the resident's just like, "You gotta be fucking
That's
kidding me!"
so
Yeah,
crazy.
like the VIP patient. Let's get her upstairs, everyone. Everyone, stop what you're doing. Like
That's
stop doing impressions. Get that patient upstairs.
Did that patient that was there for 4 days or whatever
Yeah.
find out?
Oh, I doubt it. Why would the
Okay.
fuck? Why would anyone inform?
Just wondering
them?
if it was like, someone just said it and they found out.
That would
Because
be
we had
crazy.
patients too that were waiting for like a day or two to go up, and I'm like, this is when I was in IM, so there was beds open. I'm like, why aren't they coming up? And it's just bureaucracy. It's just some like bullshit that's holding it up. Someone's got to do something that they're taking long to do. It's never that it's out of bed.
Oh, bro, another crazy thing about the ED in New York, anyway, the one we're at, and I'm sure the old one we were at, bro, like there's resuscitation bay, right? If someone comes in, you can resuscitate them in this area. It's always open, and you always have it supplied, right? Well, not in this case, because there's a staffing issue at this hospital, right?
Oh my
There's not enough nurses. There's not enough staff to like resupply shit. Bro, the shit's like never supplied. So the doctors have to like come in, like they either come in early and try to resupply it, or they come in at their normal fucking time,
Oh my
and it's just
God,
not
man.
good. So like there's sometimes, bro, we just have like children's like intubation tubes and shit. Like, and we have a full-size adult obese man who's come in with the fucking cardiac arrest, and we have this like tiny tube. Like, it's crazy, bro. So and then it goes to the doctors. If they want to be able to treat patients appropriately in any fashion, they have to be like everything. They have to be. And here's the thing. I mean, we're doing a bunch of and this is full respect to nurses. There's just not enough there. Yeah. And some of them that are there are fucking like garbage, to be honest. Not that I know that much about it, and some of them are stellar, but there's not enough of them and stuff. And so like we're doing lines and stuff all the time. I mean, you saw it at that hospital, like, but you're drawing blood, you're drawing all this shit that is like nursing jobs, like cleaning up patients, like there's shit on them, taking clothes off. And this is like the doctors too, like they even have to get in on that stuff. And it's just too bad.
That's not in their job description.
It's not. And they have so much other shit to do. And then patients will literally walk up and start yelling at the doctor, like, I haven't gotten this. And it's like, look, like I ordered it 4 hours ago. I don't know what to tell. Like, I can't bring an x-ray machine over here. I gotta keep doing my thing. And since that happens every day, I mean, imagine the stress that you're under, getting yelled at every day. And you can't keep taking care of those positions. You just can't. You'd fucking go under. You'd kill yourself.
But like, if you're a nurse, why would you want to work in like?
Why would you be here? I wouldn't.
Why would you want to be in Brooklyn?
Why the fuck
dealing
would you be
with
here?
all these shitheads? And
you would have to have a family here that's like here, and you don't want to move them.
Pay to like want to stay, because there's better hospitals you can go to.
Yeah, right, 100%.
Like, why would you want to go to a shitty?
Why would you even live in New York?
I don't understand, man. I don't get it. I wouldn't want to. So, actually, funny thing, I woke up with this. I woke up and I asked Anastasia this question.
Will you marry me?
Fuck no. Not anytime soon.
Will you lick my toes?
That I've asked multiple times, but she
always said no. I'm sorry, man.
So that guy that we had at the urethral stricture, right?
Yeah.
So I went inside his room, or his like little emergency department. Like, he had curtains, so no one could see outside. But I went inside. I was like, "Hey, are you ready to go?" He's like, "No, I'm taking a shit. I'm on a bedpan right now." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And I was like kind of embarrassed, and I left. You know, I never thought about it again. And then the nurse had to go and clean him up afterwards. And I woke up thinking, like, why do we do that? He could walk. The bathroom was literally like 30 feet away from him.
Oh, very weird.
And like, he didn't have any mobility issues. He didn't come in a wheelchair.
Oh, very weird.
He walked in, and he walked.
Well, he should have said something, right?
I don't fucking know what's going on.
Very strange.
And then like, I had to help wipe him. The nurse is like, "All right, pull him over," and we had to like, turn him on his side and had to hold him. And I'm like, why did I do that? Like, there was no need. He could have done all this shit himself.
You thought about that this morning?
Yeah.
And you asked Anastasia about it?
Yeah.
Wow,
literally,
very
she's
coincidental.
making coffee, and I'm like, "Hey, why did this happen?" It was the weirdest thing ever.
Okay.
I'm like, why did we go through all these extra steps when this guy could have just taken a shit himself easily?
I guess a lot of that happens.
We had to change the beds and everything.
Oof. I don't know. He's an adult too. I feel like he could be like, "Can I go to the bathroom?"
Yeah, and he didn't have any issues. He could communicate properly. His son was there. Like,
very
I don't
weird.
know what's going on.
Maybe there's something you didn't know or something. I don't know what it could have been. But
maybe he was scared of bathrooms. Scared of hospital bathrooms.
Bathrophobia.
The toilet was blocked, so he wanted he needed
Classic.
the bedpan.
Bro, there's a lot of people afraid of like needles and just like unwilling to be treated. It's crazy.
Annoying. I want to hit them.
So many people, it's like, "Oh no, I don't want that." It's like, what are you doing here?
So we had a homeless guy. He was afraid of needles, and I'm like, "Bro, we need your blood. We don't know what's going on with you, okay?" And he's like, "No thanks, doctor. No thanks." And I'm like, "All right, we can't do anything for you."
Like, you have track marks up and down your arms. Like, why? What do you mean you're afraid of needles?
There was another guy, actually. There was another guy. He was like a big coke user, and he used meth as well. He took it. He had freaking like track marks on his arms, and he had one amazing vein. If he wants to shoot up, the easiest fucking vein to hit. It was. I thought it was like a tendon. It was so like thick.
So did you help him?
So like, I was trying to get blood, and literally I had to fight this guy to get like, let him give me his blood. He had HIV, bunch of fucking shit. He had a really bad cough, so we thought he had like, some PCP or some other like,
You think you got him through like shaking hands or something, like cut on cut?
What do you mean?
The HIV.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that's how you got it. And he had a bunch of shit. And I'm like, bro, you fucking obviously shoot up every single day.
Yeah.
And I asked him multiple times, like, when was the last time you used cocaine? He's like, oh, 2 days ago. I'm like, okay, what about meth? He's like, oh, a week ago. And I'm like, really? And you don't want me to take your blood? Patients like that, man.
Did you ask him why he doesn't use that big juicy vein he's got there?
He does. That's the one he uses.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he had the easiest vein to like stick and give drugs, but he wouldn't let me take blood from it.
That's a motivation to not be obese. You don't
Yeah.
got veins to inject your drugs
but
in.
it wasn't even because he was like skinny or obese. His vein was just fucking amazing. Like, I've never seen anything like it. It was just a straight vein going from like his like hand all the way up to like mid bicep. It was
Bro,
insane.
I got that big dick IV confidence now. I'm feeling pretty good about it. Yeah.
Old people,
Old people, yeah.
you get them.
I hit them pretty good. I mean, I still mess up sometimes, but I go in with the confidence that I'm gonna hit it now, so it helps a lot.
And
even when I don't.
How many a day would you say you miss?
I mean, I did a bunch right away, and then I've done like one in the last week. So I don't know, but I don't know. I hit like, as a guess, like 80%.
Sometimes when they're like, "Do you know how to do this?" It rocks my confidence, and then I'll miss.
Oh, dude, I got another story then. I'm doing sutures for the first time in the ED, right? I've done them in the OR before. The patient's asleep. You have people watching over you, like trained surgeons. Like, you're fine, right? You could do crazy shit. Like, you're fine. But I'm alone. Like, he sends me in there. There's a cut on the elbow on, like, this side of it. So it's a weird angle.
The back of the
and he's
elbow?
like, look, here's the supplies. Like, you think you can do it? I'm like, I think I can do it. He's like, okay. I'm like, I've only done it in the OR before. He's like, okay, go ahead, do it. I'm like, okay. So unsupervised, doing sutures on this lady, and she can. I'm like doing my best. I got that. I can like feel like a little confidence. I can pretend, right?
Yeah.
I go like I'm going into a date or something, and just like just pretend like I'm confident here, and then so I do that. But you can only hide it so much. So I got a little nervousness going on, and she's like, pretty much like. Are you like? Do they give this to the new people or? I'm like, yeah, they give like this really simple procedures to us.
Yeah.
So I feel like I hit it pretty good there.
That's
Like
good. That's a good way to say it.
like she calmed down a little bit after that, but there was a lot of ways I could have taken that, and not most of them bad. So
I would have left. I would've been like, fuck it. Do
I think I'm fucked. Yeah, because like when people start talking shit, or just like she's obviously just checking to see like, should I be worried that you're doing this?
Yeah.
It can really like fuck with your head because you're like, oh my god, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. And or when like if you're doing a line on someone and it's like some cranky old guy. They're like, if someone else did this a little bit ago and it didn't hurt at all. Like, what are you doing? Like, oh my god! And you're literally trying to like concentrate and like hit them with it. Like every EMT person right now is like, you fucking pussies. But whatever.
All our EMT listeners, man, they're all fucking probably listening right now. This is why you got to go into radiology because no one can see what you're doing.
And every nurse is like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. We have a big nurse and paramedic audience. Eh?
Huge nurse audience on this podcast.
They know what we're doing. Man, it's been so nice. Like, now that psychiatry's done, I'm like, okay, now I can chill and start the things that I actually want to do. And you're already actually doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
Like with EM, but I'm psyched. I don't want to get treated like shit anymore. It's probably still gonna happen.
You're psyched?
Yeah. Bad pun.
No.
It's nice to like be able to like do things you want, and like between rotations you have actual time off, because before we had like 6-week rotation, 2 days off, 12-week rotations, 2 days off.
How much time do you have in between each rotation now?
It's like up to like a week to like 9 days.
That's good.
So like between this one I have a week, and then I have a weekend between like my next two.
Bro, it was a grind before, man. You would have like a day off and then your new rotation starts and like a different like it was crazy, man.
Plus,
the last year has just been wild.
Yeah, man, the last year was like the hardest, like most burnt out year of my life. Like,
crazy.
Some good.
I mean, you work and then you like you don't get to go home and rest or even just like kind of rest or like take care of your family or any of that. You go home and you study, bro. Or you study at the hospital. Like that's
terrible.
That's your time off of work. Like holy fuck.
And that hospital was just
it was
like
a mess,
probably
bro.
the worst year of my life was at the hospital.
It was so draining. Like you're either doing busy stuff, like you have to do all the shit, call to a med rec on this patient, do this, do that, or you're standing there and you are allowed to do nothing.
Yeah.
You don't get to learn. You don't get to help.
Yeah.
You don't get to do shit.
The worst thing
that's
about that
exhausting.
hospital, and like I see this a lot on Twitter for like, you know, there's this, or on Reddit, there's a subreddit called anti-work, and it's like people complaining about work. And what I've found is like we're expected to stand like a lot in rotations.
Yeah, like
People-
physically standing.
Yeah, people aren't meant to be standing like
100%.
8 hours a day. Like,
I
it's
mean,
insane.
in the OR, in the operating room, people pass out. Like, it's
Yeah.
a known thing that medical students pass out in the operating room because
Yeah.
you stand there, you're not doing anything for like up to like, I don't know, what, 6 hours? Is that a fair statement? If you're in a long
one
surgery?
I went to for 10 hours.
Yeah. So, I mean, standing for that long, there's literally a known way for syncope, which is passing out, is a young person standing for a prolonged period of time.
Yeah.
Like our heart rates don't catch up with needing to pump more blood to your brain.
Yeah.
And so you go unconscious.
It's crazy, man. And plus, like, the
fucking
fact
wild.
that, like, these residents and some of the attendings are just, like, expect us to stand. I'm like, why the fuck are you sitting? Like, what
Yeah.
did you do to deserve to sit? You know,
Crazy,
just because
bro.
you're a doctor and I'm a student, like, why does that change anything?
I was in the ED the other day eating, standing up, and a nurse walked by and is like, what are you, in boot camp or something? And I'm like, kind of, yeah. Like, she's like, no, like this, it's not okay. Like, if you don't get to sit and eat, then none of us should, type shit. And I'm like, wow, that's very nice of you. And then I just kept eating standing up, because what am I gonna do? Take up physician's chair? Like,
Yeah. Do you have places to sit in the ED?
there's places to sit. It depends on what time of the day it is. You know, overnight I can sit and do whatever. I have a whole spot to myself. But if it's like middle of the day on a weekday, I mean, I'm not. There's nowhere to sit. Like,
Why do you eat in, like, that area? Why don't you leave and eat somewhere else?
because a lot of the time it's busy enough that I have to kind of stay around and keep doing stuff. So
That's
I just like
stupid.
quickly eat.
So you don't even get a break?
No, there's no break. I mean, it depends. Like at the old hospital, for sure, no break. But at this one, they're a little chiller. Like, they're cool.
I
cool.
told them, like, before, when I would go take a break and I'd be like, hey, can I go take a lunch? They're like, yeah, be back by... And they'd give me like
bro.
30, 45
I know.
minutes.
Well,
I'm like, what the fuck?
The nice thing
Like-
about the ED is they actually like need you. Like, you have a purpose there. Like, they need you to do shit. Like,
Barely.
because there's just staffing issues on New York. Like,
But, like, the audacity, like, I'm here for 8 hours.
Yeah, yo, I'm paying you to be here, and I'm here for 8 hours, and I don't get to eat or
Yeah,
like,
it's-
it's crazy.
It's
crazy.
just ridiculous, man. I always took an hour lunch anyway because I'm like, fuck these
And here's the
guys.
thing: even if there is a chair, you want to stand by the resident or the physician
to.
so that you can. So when they're like, "Yo, I need you,"
Yeah.
you're right there. Like, because if you're sitting away from them, they will never. They will either never talk to you, and you never see a patient, or it's like, "Hey, why aren't you over here? Why aren't
Yeah,
you helping?"
exactly.
So it's like, what the fuck, bro?
They're
So then
never
you're just
going to come
standing.
approach you and be like, hey, let's go do this thing. It's
Right.
always going to be like, if you're there, they'll take you.
They're a
If
little
not-
bit better at the new place,
Yeah.
but still. Yeah,
I'm
it's-
glad at least, you know, they're a bit good. Because at the old one, like, they do ultrasounds and they wouldn't even, like, ask me to come.
Mm.
I'm like, I'm the only student here. Like, what the hell is going on? It wasn't a good experience. I could just keep talking shit. Anastasia right now is doing her anesthesiology rotation at your hospital, and the schedule is like insane. It's like
she's there all the time.
going when you want.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so she's like, next week I'm gonna go on Tuesday and Thursday.
Holy
I'm like,
fuck.
okay.
Bro, that's the thing, man.
She doesn't even need to go. So someone like signed up for that elective, and then they got an evaluation done on the first day, and then they went home for.
I'm about to do pulmonary critical care. Do you know if that's? I've heard it's like not that busy.
I think one of our friends is doing it
Okay.
right now.
Do you know if
long
it's
hair
busy
guy.
at all?
No, it's not. So it depends on
I've
the
heard it's
attending.
not. Yeah.
So if it's a good attending, they let you leave by noon. If it's like a bad attending, you're done by noon, but you have to stay till like whatever time, doing nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, a bunch of BS. I am like, even though we live in the same area, I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna go to that old hospital for any rotation. I'm like, not giving them any of my money. They didn't. I know what the rotations are like. You know, none of them are good.
None of them are good.
So there's no point in even going.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for like some nicer hospitals nearby. So
The old hospital is probably my last pick out of any hospital in the United States.
Yeah.
I think.
I'm not even applying there. I'm like, I know I
Really?
have a good shot, but I'm not
I'll
applying.
apply. I'll just put it low on the list, but
Yeah, you'll get an interview for sure.
yeah.
They interview everyone.
As long as I don't act like Mr. 17 and fuck it up.
Mr. 17.
Yeah, the guy who fucked up 17 interviews.
Oh yeah, Mr. 17.
It's impressive.
Oh, one thing I forgot to tell you. That guy I was telling you about in my psych rotation, who's anti-vax.
Oh yeah.
I got him to open up to me.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're like, I feel the same way.
Because he did his step 2 on like some day, and then the day after, I was like, "You're gonna open up now, right? Because you don't have to study anymore." He's like, "I am open. This is me being open." I was like, "No, you're not. You gotta be more open." And he's like, "All
You
right."
actually said all this?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's like, "All right, fine." Like some people, I'm what some people would call a conspiracy theorist.
Asshole. Oh, sorry.
And he told me one of the conspiracies he believes.
Okay.
And
Man on the moon?
No,
Flat Earth?
No. I don't know if he believes in those ones, but the one he basically believes in was like the Illuminati one.
Oh.
And he said there's a group of powerful people that
Are in the
pick
shadows.
how many votes people get each year. So, Joe Biden won this year with whatever million votes. He's like, no one's votes counted. They just chose who gets to win.
Okay, here's the thing. I don't even think that might be true or whatever. I don't even think that fucking matters, to be honest.
Yeah, I know.
But I do think that there's people in the shadows who are super powerful, who are influencing tons of modern shit every day.
That's exactly what I said.
I'm sure I am very confident that that's happening. I just
he
I
said
don't.
that was his
I think his is too specific. Maybe, maybe, but I just.
He said that was his most
I doubt it.
Mild conspiracy theory.
Oh, what?
And there's a bunch more that they're all get worse.
Bro, did evolution pop out these conspiracy theorists or what? I know it's worse because of the internet and everything today, but goddamn, people just believe wild ass shit.
How do you do research and then you find all the wrong answers?
Well, that goes to the algorithms too, right? So if you're on a YouTube binge, you see this thing and you're like, it's kind of flat earthy or something, or maybe it's just somewhat of a conspiracy theory, like a 9/11 type thing. And then YouTube will just open up the floodgates for you, and then you're like, oh my god. And then soon you're only seeing conspiracy theories on your YouTube page or Facebook or this or that. You know what I mean? So now that's all you see, and so it's of course you believe that 9/11 didn't happen and that Neil Armstrong whatever had sex with a fake moon or something.
But what kind of person does that happen to? Because I remember I went on a conspiracy theory binge for a while, maybe a month or something, and I had a bunch of conspiracy theory stuff.
Yeah, but you don't have Down syndrome, dude.
Oh, okay. That's kind of me.
Yeah, sorry. I just heard Norm Macdonald say it one time the other day, and I thought it was really funny. I'm gonna say Down syndrome more often.
Turner syndrome.
Theo Vaughn is back in my town, I was actually the only person who was cured of Down syndrome. Yeah, he's like, I was the first. They told me, I didn't even know.
You're not gonna do his accent?
No, I wouldn't do it justice, bruh.
It's too funny. Those are my stories.
They were talking shit about Joe Rogan or something, him and I think Andrew Santino, and Theo was like, yeah, they were like, oh no, it was some Minnesota comic, but he's like, yeah, Joe Rogan, I heard he actually sucked the cystic fibrosis right out of a kid. They're like, yeah, one time Joe Rogan just was injecting vitamins into his arteries and then just floated through the wall behind him. He's like, I was fucking dying,
If
dude.
anyone can do it, Joe Rogan can. Some of these, I don't know how they come up with this shit.
Dude, they're so fucking funny. Theo Vaughn especially is just a fucking genius.
Even I think
so funny.
I'm saying, man, the trick to comedy is you got to come up with something people don't expect.
Yeah, that's literally comedy. I mean, that's Norm Macdonald just died. He's one of my favorites, but he was people are doing all this whatever comedy now. I don't know, but he's comedy is just surprising. It's just surprises. That's all it is.
I feel the biggest laughs I've ever had were just people said something.
Yeah, that you did not expect. It just was left field.
Yeah. It's you never see it coming. You have all these possibilities and
it was the last. You're just no way. That's hilarious.
Dude, I think that's what I gotta start doing more.
Yeah. Be funnier.
I'm trying, man. I'm taking lessons. I'm taking prof classes.
I was on the subway the other day, or I was going on, right? I'm going to work in the morning. I jump over the turnstiles as I usually do because there's not a booth or anything at the spot we're at.
Did you actually do that?
Yeah.
That's good.
That's good. You're like, yeah. So I'm proud of you.
Anastasia's gonna hate this, so I'm gonna cut your story. But when I use one of my credit cards on my phone, it registers on my phone as I paid, but the turnstile, it doesn't register. So it shows that I paid, but I actually didn't pay. And then it doesn't let me through.
Oh, okay.
So I show Anastasia, like, it worked. So I jumped the turnstile. So she's like, fine, if you paid and it didn't register, you can jump it. I do that sometimes if I want to jump the turnstile. But sorry, continue with
That's fucking hilarious. But yeah, so then I jumped the turnstiles, whatever. I've done this a million times. I walk down to the subway platform. I'm waiting for the L train, and I look to my left as I, get to the end of the platform. I'm the very last person, mind you. I'm the very last person at the last part of the platform, and I see two cops walking straight at me, bro. At first, they're in a line, right? And then they split up. Then they're walking side by side. And then they split up. I start walking to the sides of me. And I'm like, I'm fucked, bro. But I'm like, play it cool. Act like you didn't do anything. Act complete. Go full, like, it wasn't me mode. Like, saw you banging on the phone. It wasn't me. Like, I was about to do that 80 times. And they split up. They're both looking at me. And then I'm like, beads of sweat, bro. I'm like, just play it cool, like trying to slow my heart rate down, and they just walk right by me. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? No one is over there. What are they doing? And I I just keep playing it cool, act like I'm doing my own thing, and then they start walking back the other way, back to where they came from, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck they were doing.
They just went there to grab each other's asses without everyone looking.
I have no idea, man. It was intense though.
Yeah, that's funny. But now you learned your lesson. Don't jump the turnstile.
No, I jumped them the next day. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I feel like it's the biggest waste because the subways are always like shit. They gotta at least make it better for us to want to pay for that.
I guess I'm just kind of an asshole. I think I probably should pay for it.
I'm justifying it because I don't want to pay.
I just I think they're great.
Fine.
I actually think they're great. I mean, it gets me around the city. They're not dirty, I don't think. And yeah, there's homeless people on it that yell at you, but not really. And I don't think it's that bad. They're fine.
They're fine, but I wouldn't say they're great.
No, I mean they're fine for a government service,
they're nice,
but they're great to have under your city. Come on.
Yeah, there was a guy. Did I tell you?
What?
He was smoking some shit in the subway.
Oh yeah, you sent me a text or something. He's spitting it out on the ground.
Yeah, he was so it was.
He was just
dude, it was crazy. The floor was wet. It was like a puddle, dude. It was so much. And he's smoking K2, and he's coughing and putting his phlegm on the floor, and it was a big bigger than a foot in diameter.
Did you save the phlegm for labs later or what?
It's in the picture that I sent you. It's fucking disgusting, man. And then he's just sitting there. The entire bench was empty. Only
Of course, no one's sitting by that.
The entire bench. And the people in front of him was empty. And I didn't know that he was doing that, so I just went and sat down beside him and I was oh fuck, really? Man. And
you just sit in a bunch of phlegm?
Yeah. Well, I wasn't that close to him. I was a little further away, maybe 2 feet away from him. But I felt bad, man. I wanted to call him out, but I was like, man, this guy's on fucking who knows what drugs, and he could bite my fucking
some bath
eye
salts
out or some shit.
Whatever happened to bath salts?
I don't know, man.
We need to bring those back. I feel like there's always good bath salt stories.
We gotta try it.
Dude ate someone's face or something.
It's next on the list.
Oh, you want to try it?
No.
We got mushrooms. Should we try bath salts?
I want to try mushrooms really bad.
Let's do it. We'll take mushrooms. We'll do a podcast. That's it.
I'm down.
The mushroom pod. We got to do it once without the podcast, though.
Yeah, I want to do it, but it's gonna be a day when Anastasia's
she's just not into it, huh?
No. Well, she said she's fine with me doing it, but that means she's not fine with me doing it. And I got to get drug tested next week.
Wait, what did she say?
She said she's fine with me doing it.
Oh, which means she's not fine with me doing it.
She's not fine.
Was it how she said it or something?
She just says she's fine with it, but she's
Okay.
not. It's just
get
who
it.
she is.
And I have a bunch, so we can do as many as we want.
Just save a little bit. But I got to get drug tested next week. So, and they last in your system a little longer, I think. So after I get drug tested, we'll find a day when she's not here and do it up.
I'm sure a bunch of physicians do drugs.
Yeah, I bet. Didn't her friend say the other day, L?
Oh yeah, he's the physician goes up to him and he's like, and by the way, it's okay if you guys smoke or something.
I got a lighter right here from when I was smoking.
Yeah. So I got a pot leaf on it. Yeah, I don't. It's just more open now, I guess. I don't know.
He's like, it's legal, and I agree. If it's legal, we should be able to do it.
I'm sure there's plenty of doctors who do like hard drugs too.
Yeah.
I don't know how. I mean, I don't know the actual number, but like
Surgeons 100%.
surgeons, I'm sure do what? I mean, they're doing cocaine all the time.
Oh,
right?
actually, Anastasia's attending in anesthesiology was like, just don't get hooked on drugs, because he's like, I know a lot of my friends, anesthesiologists, the drugs are just right there and they just take them.
Bro, if you're just exposed to something every day, I don't care what it is. Like the chances of you doing that shit go up so much.
Yeah. You're getting addicted. Like,
Yeah.
it's easy, especially for like attendings. Like, if you're a surgeon, like everything's right there. If you're an anesthesiologist, right there. A little harder for IM, but everyone else is just like, you need it all the time doing like surgeries.
And ED docs are doing cocaine before they get there, you know.
Before, during, and after. They don't sleep.
No, I feel like which drug is each specialty doing? I mean, the surgeons are doing what? Coke?
I would say Coke for surgeons.
ED docs, Coke?
I would say Coke.
Is every doctor just doing Coke?
But anesthesiologists, I don't think they do. I think they do-
Anesthesiologists are doing everything
I
in
think
the
they do,
book.
like,
Bro, they're getting
ketamine.
morphine, they're getting
Yeah.
ketamine. What else are they doing? They're doing...
Lido, if they want to get their hearts to stop. I don't know.
kill themselves?
Yeah, the
Lido to the heart.
The canes, man.
Yeah.
Like benzocaine and shit. I think they can abuse that one too.
Our hospital doesn't carry cocaine. One of the surgeons was asking about it. I think we said this in a pod, but we were doing surgery, ear, nose, and throat, and he's like, "It's fucked up that they don't have cocaine in here because it's like the best vasoconstrictor, you know. So I have the least amount of bleeding in the nose." And I'm like, "Oh man, that's rough."
Plus, I like to take it home with me afterwards.
Yeah. Plus, I like to go skiing pretty often. What is IM doing? If they had, what are they doing if they had access?
Man, the IM docs are so fucking lame. Like, I feel like they just do
Yeah, they-
Tylenol or something.
Yeah, they do all to go to sleep or something.
They want to escape from their lives.
Play some video games before bed and hit some Haldol and then wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
That's
Psychiatrists,
fucking
you
hilarious.
could do fucking anything. All the residents in psych were on like Zoloft, like the SSRIs, like decrease anxiety.
Oh yeah, dude. Every psych doctor is on SSRIs. They're on fucking. They take benzos and they can't sleep. They're doing.
The way they talk is they're like, I don't feel any emotion. Like, I never feel anxious. And it's weird when I feel emotions. One of the residents was like, I don't like how I'm feeling. I'm feeling like down. I'm feeling happy. Like, I just want to be stable all the time.
Oh,
It's fucked.
You're not living, dude.
Yeah.
That is definitely psych.
And I feel like benzos they would abuse too. Benzos are fun though.
I don't think I've had one.
I'll give you some after this.
What are other specialties?
Besides, I'm pediatrics. I don't
Yeah,
think
what are
pediatrics
what are pediatricians doing?
I don't think they would do anything.
Yeah.
It's too innocent.
Yeah,
and
but-
then like OB.
Pediatricians are doing. They're like eating Smarties or something.
The thing with OB is they're such fakers. They think they're surgeons because they do fucking C-sections.
You fucking hate OB.
Who doesn't? They do a
Obstetrics.
C-section every once in a while, and they're like, okay, we're surgeons now.
OB-GYN, they're doing, what are they doing? They're just doing meth off the street.
Yeah, I don't see them doing anything.
Yeah, they're not doing anything.
They can get prostaglandins.
They might do like, what are like, they're giving themselves like epidurals or something.
That's anesthesiology though. They don't know how to do epidurals.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Fuck OB.
Damn,
they don't
can't
do,
do anything.
shit.
They're giving themselves laughing gas.
Yeah, I don't know if they even have that.
They just have access to nothing.
There shouldn't be OB, man. There should just be the birthing, what are they called?
Midwives.
Midwives, yeah.
yeah.
I don't think there's anything that a midwife can't do. And then let the surgeons do C-sections. Let them get more
I
business.
feel like ED docs are doing like hallucinogens too.
Yeah, I could see that. You need to get through your day. They use a lot of like procedural stuff, like stuff to knock you out fast. Like they use a lot of ketamine too. Put them in a ketamine pit. I don't know what that is, but I wanna experience it.
You want to go into a K-hole?
What is it? What is a K-hole?
You don't want to go into a K-hole, but you
What
want to
is
like
it?
use ketamine. So K-hole, as far as I understand, it's like, well, first of all, what is ketamine? Ketamine, it's like, is it hallucinogenic? I mean, it's
don't know.
analgesic, hallucinogenic. So we give it to patients before we like relocate their shoulder, or we call it it's not relocation, reduction. It's reducing your shoulder because it's really painful. So, but on ketamine, if we put you in a K-hole or really close to it, you don't remember it happening. So it's as if it didn't happen. So you didn't feel the pain. And you feel good on ketamine. But, I mean, I've used it before. It felt really good. I was on other shit too, though, so I can't like pinpoint what it's like. I'll have my brother on here sometime. He would explain every detail, every fucking detail. We're gonna do a whole drug list, actually.
Which brother is that?
I'll just tell you. It's
Oh, okay, not Austin. Which one's Austin again? He's a cook.
he's the one who came here.
I know. I don't remember what he does.
He's like the hockey player. He was a goalie. Yeah.
What does he do now? He's like.
Oh, he's
30 now, right?
He yeah, he works for. He's like
Oh.
Yeah.
Thing? Yeah.
I wrote 55 minutes 8 times.
Why do you need to?
I guess I don't. We just gave too much info, I feel like.
Yeah, this
in the
is what we
past we've
fucked
said
up.
his name, which was fine because I put him into sainthood, but this is like specific information of his life, so I don't know. Better safe than
Yeah,
sorry.
you're gonna get him fired from his job.
What were we just talking about? Oh, ketamine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then apparently a K-hole is like, I mean, I've seen someone in it before, and we put him in a K-hole. We put his shoulder back in, and then he'd wake up and be like, "Where am I? Where am I?" And I'd be like, "Oh, you're in the emergency department. Relax. You're on ketamine. Everything's okay. We got you. Okay." And he goes, "Oh, okay." And then he just kind of relaxes again, and then wait, where am I? Where am I? Like genuine. Like he's not faking this shit. We see that, and we know, But man, he was full K-hole. He was deep in that hole.
Have you ever seen Catatonia?
Yeah, I think we talked about it on another podcast.
Oh.
Well, I guess I don't think I've seen it, but I definitely know what it is.
It's crazy, man. I'm pretty sure there's one homeless guy like somewhere in this area,
Explain what it is.
and he's always like, all right, I'll do it. He's always like standing like this. He's like sleeps like this, right? And his legs. Oh yeah, I dropped my bike. Sorry. So he sleeps like bent over. His legs are bent, and then he's like hunched over. And I'm always like, how does he do this?
Bro, why is every homeless dude on drugs? Why do they're all like this? They either sleep like this or they walk like this. Have you noticed that? Like
Yeah,
they're
kind
fucking
of.
bent at the waist, like parallel to the ground. Like it's
Yeah.
like fucking crazy, and they walk like this. Makes
But
no
it's
sense.
so weird because other times they're just walking straight. They're standing up straight, walking properly, very loose. And I finally figured out what catatonia was, and it's like your muscles are like very rigid. They don't let you move. And it can happen, if you're taking psych meds, or it can happen just if you have like a psych disorder. No one knows what it is.
Like Haldol and stuff, right?
Yeah.
The dopamine blockers.
Yeah. So that, or it can just happen, normally. But you give them Ativan and they go back to normal. It's crazy. Give them
Wait,
psych meds.
is Haldol and stuff? Is that agonist or antagonist?
Antagonist, I
Yeah,
believe.
that's what I thought.
But yeah, now that I know what catatonia is, when I see people around, like some of these homeless people, I feel like they have it.
Block that D.
Yeah.
Cock blockers. You may as well call Haldol cock blocker.
Why would we?
It's a D, it blocks
the D.
dopamine.
Blocks the D too.
Cool, man.
You want to cut it there?
Yeah, let's cut it. Any final words?
We need to get milk, bro.
We definitely need milk. We can't have tea without milk. Good luck to all the VIP patients out there. I know you're going through a lot, and that I'm glad you're going ahead of that guy with congestive heart failure, though. You deserve it, and
hopefully you get up to the the floor when you need it.
And if you're a young white person, I want to see you smoking out there.
Yeah.
I don't want ulcerative colitis.
More people
in
need to
your
start
ass.
smoking, man. Lost art.
Should we jumpstart it again?
Jumpstart?
Yeah, jumpstart. Everyone get smoking
I'm not
again.
gonna get it though.
We're starting a bandwagon.
I'm a young brown man. So
What?
I'm good for
Oh yeah, you're brown. You're kind of set.
You might need to do
Bro,
it.
we need to mention this before we go though. Black people get so many extra disorders and like illnesses. It's crazy. Like I'm sorry. Like I'm sorry to black people. Like, dude, I mean, we could list so many. It's like sickle cell. You have a bigger risk factor for sarcoidosis.
G6PD.
You're more likely to have hypertension. More likely to have diabetes.
Kidney.
Like, bro, if you're over 40 and you're black, like your chance of getting a heart attack is up like compared to everyone else,
And I
like
don't know
a
why.
fucking million. Like
don't
it's
know why.
crazy.
I thought the whole thing was like everyone's on the same on the inside. But
Yeah, dude,
obviously
it's
that's
not true. Whatever they told you, it's not true.
Like,
Oh my god.
if you're black, you're dying.
If you're black, like you're in rough shape at the start. Like
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like mosquitoes ain't got shit on you, but you're in rough shape.
I don't know
man.
why we like shit on black people so much. Like they already have life so tough. Like, we should lay off them.
God damn it, bro. They do have bigger cocks though, and bigger
This is
muscles.
cock envy, bro.
And they're all in, and the amount of black players in the NFL is much higher. Whenever I see a white running back, I'm like, that's my fucking guy. There's one of us, bro. There's like been one white cornerback in the NFL in like 30 years. It just doesn't happen.
Cornerback or quarterback?
Corner on
Oh,
the corner,
I've never
like it's a
heard that
defensive position. You have to be really fast,
Dude, now that
and we're just not.
now that we talked about boob envy and black people, I'm pretty sure the reason racists exist is because of cock envy.
Cock envy?
Yeah.
Oh, I believe that.
All these
100%
rednecks
believe
have
that.
cock envy.
100% believe
Cock
that.
envy.
Cock envy. The moment a white person saw a black person, it was
Yeah.
like, oh, this isn't good.
Yeah.
This is not good.
I think like don't Asians like hate black people like the most or something?
I think so. From what I've heard, I don't know for sure.
This is
Asians
all,
this is all
Yes.
hearsay. Asians are the most racist people apparently.
Yeah.
And I mean there's like different cultures of Asians, blah blah blah. But like apparently like Japanese people fucking hate certain types of other Asian people. Like Chinese people hate Japanese, like Koreans hate this, like, and they all hate like Filipinos, like
Yeah,
they
100%.
literally call them like jungle Asians and
Oh my
shit,
God.
like crazy shit. And they're like, again, not every Asian person, but in general, Asian people in Asia like are racist towards black people, like
The
crazy. I mean, and against white people, but like,
Yeah. White people I feel like not as much.
huh?
White people is like
Oh
much
yeah, I know.
less.
That's why I like added it as like a footnote at the
Yeah.
end. But I mean, yeah, like you seen like some Asian places, you still see like the fucking like big lip, like
Yeah,
dark, like
yeah.
Jim Crow era fucking figurine. You're like, oh damn,
But
son.
that's I'm telling you, man.
And you see that sometimes in like Europe too. Like Europe is not that. I mean, they're fucking very. It's not the same. But like my brother sent me a thing, and I don't know if it was just coincidence or if it was just a super racist piece of candy. But he sent me a picture, and it was straight up like that Jim Crow era,
Oh my
like
God.
caricature. And I'm like, what the
In
fuck?
Europe?
From Spain, yeah,
Oh my
from
God,
Spain.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and dude, and we have
It's a style
some.
there.
And I love my Spanish in-laws, whatever the fuck. But goddamn, like, I mean, I've heard a couple stories of just them saying some racist ass shit. But
telling
and not
you,
all
man,
of them. Like
it's
my
because of the-
sister-in-law is great. I've never heard her say anything wild. But
It's because of the cock envy.
It's a
Asians
cock-
have the
dude.
biggest cock envy.
makes
Against
sense.
blacks,
There's a
they're the most
fucking gradient.
racist.
I
Yeah,
see it.
exactly.
I see it now.
And in America,
You've
you know,
opened my eyes.
Now we figured it out.
And that's why we're in Afghanistan. All right. Thanks, everybody.
There.
It's been a great podcast. We'll see you next time for the next hour. We love you.
Yeah, love you too,
Peace.
my listeners.